comic coming up. Very, very funny. Give it up for Miss Liz Hall, everybody!
Oh my God! Hi! Wow, look at you guys. You're so good looking. Do you feel underdressed? I apologize. My grandmother would be so disappointed in me. Guys, I am a bit of a conspiracy theorist. Anybody else there out in the room? Trying to find the story they're not telling us? I'm just looking for it. Guys, I've recently convinced myself that blowjobs were just developed to keep women quiet. Just a crude method of pacification. Like a big, fleshy, blood-filled Banky. I'm sorry. I just had a really hard time conceptualizing how the first heterosexual blowjob came about. I mean, I'm sure guys have just been sucking each other off since time immemorial. You're guys. But I just can't imagine how the first cave lady was sitting in her cave, and she looked over at her cave man and his cave dick, and was like, "That looks delicious. I'll have that." I mean, modern day dicks are gross, guys. I can't imagine what a cave dick must have been like. Like, I just imagine like a half-eaten, unwrapped lollipop rolling around in the bottom of your grandpa's toolbox. I'm not fucking eating that. So guys, despite my insane paranoia and my staunch opposition to oral sex, I'm single. So you're surprised. That's also surprised. I just don't really, I think I have a hard time understanding men. I think they have a hard time understanding me. I just, don't really get how it all works. I was talking to a gentleman on one of the many online forums, which I am a part of, and we were just doing sort of some get-to-know-you chit-chat, and I asked him where he lived, just a general geographic idea, like what city or borough, no big deal. And he goes, "I don't tell women where I live, because I live with my parents and I don't want people showing up at my door and disturbing them." I'm like, "Sir, you are in your mid-30s and you live with your parents? You're really worried about some crazed love zombie showing up and gathering them in the door while you guys are having Sunday dinner? If you really want women to stay away from you, I urge you to tell them exactly where you live, let them see it for themselves, and then the relationship will run its natural course." I don't know. I get catcalled sometimes, guys. I'm not necessarily bragging about it. I think everybody gets catcalled. I would assume certain breeds of dog get catcalled. A long-haired retriever probably looks pretty sexy sitting in the passenger seat of a car. But I got catcalled recently, and this guy made whatever cluck whistle noise at me, and I looked over to sort of say thank you, it's nice, I'm just grateful for whatever. And he looked away and buried his head in an imaginary book. And I was like, one, you're a construction worker, what are you doing reading a book? And two, you too? I'm not gonna fucking stalk you. I just have a hard time with it. I think it's really hard for men and women to understand each other. We're completely different. We have completely different wants and likes and needs, and that's why I think a lot of miscommunication happens. For example, I think a lot of times men will pay women a compliment and women will perceive it as an insult. For example, you tell a woman that you like her blouse and she's like, "Oh, did you just call me fat because only fat girls wear blouses?" So I try not to be like that. I try to kind of see the intention behind the compliments that these men are paying me, but sometimes it's a little bit difficult. For example, a guy recently told me that he thought I looked like Britney Spears would look when she was my age. Guys, Britney Spears is almost exactly 90 days younger than I am. But he thought I would want to look like old Britney Spears, so that's nice. I was also recently told by a guy that he wanted to wear me on his dick. Which I thought was romantic, considering how particular guys usually are about what they wear. A couple months ago, I was at a bar, and a guy told me that he liked my face bones. You know, at the time, I was sort of taken aback, and I'm sure I just made like a bitchy face and walked away. But in hindsight, I wish that I'd been more welcoming of this compliment, because I think he was just, you know, trying to tell me that he liked my bone structure, not that he wanted to kill me, which is what I thought at the time. And so I really wish that I could go back in time and say, thank you. That was a really nice thing that you just said. Let's have a drink. And you know, later on, we would be at his house, and he would have me tied up, and he would be attempting to cut my face off and access the bones underneath it. And I would be screaming and trying to escape, and he would be like, I don't understand how you didn't see this coming. I wasn't in any way vague about being worried. I really don't understand how you didn't see this coming. And I would cry, I just wanted to open myself up to love. And he would say very seriously, oh, I'll open you up. As he repositioned the scalpel in his hand. Guys, I have sort of like a mad face. I'm always sort of frowning. The other day I was frowning into the mirror, and I noticed it looks like I have what appears to be a second vagina here in between my eyebrows. Can be either a good or a bad thing, depending on who you talk to. I think Estee Lauder famously once said, you can never have too many lips. But I took my second vagina down to the doctor and I said, Doc, you've got to help me. I'm growing a second vagina. And she goes, Liz, that is really terrible news because you cannot even feed the one that you have. That's been my time for tonight.